what we're going to do right now is we are getting ready to graph rational equations. And the most basic version of a rational equation is a parent function. We've talked about parent functions before, and parent functions are the this kind of like the starting point. They represent, in the story of Adam and Eve, where do we start? And everything from there is just sort of an extension of that, some new characteristics and features, whatever, if you want to use like a little story, or it's like a little plant, and each plant kind of grows. Or Darwinism, right? We had a bird and they're all in these different islands and different places, and they've all adapt, survival of the fittest, and they vary from place to place. So our parent function, our most simple rational fraction ratio function, is just plain Jane 1 over x. This one, though, has a special name, 1 over x. It's known as the reciprocal function. And we said that when you see the word reciprocal, you want to think of the word, what word? What word are we going to think of when we see reciprocal? So we remember.
Reciprocal.
Thank you. You're the best. Reciprocal. And that just means we're going to flip it over. Well, what's it a flip of? It's a flip of y equals x. Y equals x is the OG, plain original graph. I know G doesn't normally stand for graph, but y equals x. It is known as the identity function. Identity function when y equals x. And that's a line with a slope of 1, a y-intercept of 0. It goes diagonally through quadrant 1, top right corner, and quadrant 3, bottom left corner. So the identity function, really one of the original functions, that is the flip of it, okay? That is the flip of it. So let's just graph a couple points. I'm going to be super zoomed in right now. And I'm only going to go, because I'm going to be zoomed in, I'm only going to go 2 units in each direction. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's 2, 1, 1, 2, -1, -2, -1, and -2. Ready? If we were to plot points, old school, make a table of values. In our heads, though, this last thing we're doing, okay? We got 90 seconds left. If I were to make a table of values for this, if I plug in 1 for x, here's my table, x, y. If I plug in 1 for x, what do you get for y? You plug in 1 for x, what do you get for y? What's 1 over 1?
1.
Thank you, one person. So 1, 1. 1 for x, you get 1 for y. What if you plug in 2 for x? What do you get for y? If you fill in a 2 for x, y equals what?
Y equals x.
If you fill in a 2 for the x, Marta, Melvin, Natalie, Manuel. Sorry?
I was looking at the identity function.
Yeah, so if we fill in a 2 for the x, y equals, just state what it is. Ella, Dylan, Ariel, Amelia. Plug in 2 for x. What do we get for y? What is it? 1 over?
1 over 2.
Right, good. 1 over 2. And that's just 1/2. So if I plug in 2 for x, I get 1 over 2 for y. If I plug in 2 for x, because in order pair 2 is the x, I get 1 over 2. That's it. Don't overthink. That's it. What if I plug in, being a little weird, this is a sneaky guy, 1/2 for x. What's 1 divided by 1/2? I'll do that a little on the side. Y equals, I'm going to fill in a 1/2 for x. What's 1 divided by 1/2? Keep. What is that?
Change, flip.
Change and flip. 1 divided by 1/2. How many times does 1/2 go into 1?
Twice.
Twice. Keep, change, flip also gets you 2. So if I plug in 1/2 for x, I get 2 for y. 1/2 comma 2. So If you plugged in 3, I promise you're going to get a third. If you plug in 4, a fourth. As you plug in bigger x's, what's happening to your y values? 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5. As your x's get bigger, your y values get
Smaller.
perfect. Will they become magically negative? 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, 1/10, 1/100, 1/1000. Negative? No,
No.
they just get closer and closer and closer to a teeny thing known as 0. Now on this side, it's going to make a branch as well, and it's going to get closer and closer and closer to the y-axis. And we're going to talk more about this in our next class, but it goes closer and closer and closer that way. This side, the same idea happens, but if I fill in a -1 for x, I'm going to get a -1 for y. So I'm going to get these same points, but in quadrant 3. So -1 for x, I get a -1y. If I plug in -2, I get -1/2. If I plug in -1/2, I get -2. So you're going to get this other thing. And I'm going to call this thing right here, we're going to call this a branch. So we have 2 branches. And another thing you're just going to add to your picture before the end of class today, I'm going to color coordinate mine and we're going to talk about them next time. I'm going to draw a purple dotted line going right here. I want you to think of this as like a kind of like caution tape. You know, like when the custodians have to clean something broke or something happened, they might block it off with like a caution tape so you don't go over there, not allowed to go there. I'm going to draw another dash line over here, but I'm going to use a different color. And you're going to think of that as well as sort of like a caution tape. And these are special dashed lines. They have a special meaning, and we're going to learn more about them. But this right here is the parent function for 1/x. For homework, I want you to do the same thing we just did. Make a table of values and plot points. Write down the ordered pairs. But I want you to do the same thing with y equals 1/x² instead. And then we're going to compare and contrast what these graphs have in common and what makes them different. And maybe I'll record myself doing this after school if anybody comes and upload it, so you can even have help copying that video before class. But upload your notes where your homework was uploaded for today. Upload these notes. That's your homework right here. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to graph this other parent function. I have a nickname for this. I call this the volcano, and we'll talk about why next class, and we're going to go into a lot more detail, and then we're going to shift this the way we shifted parabolas, left and right, up and down. So I might actually throw another quizzy up for you for homework too. So let's do this as homework, okay, to do that, and check for a quizzy as well, all right? So thumbs up if you get it, thumbs down if you don't. Have a great day, and I wish you all the luck on y equals 1/x² and the quizzy, okay?